Okay guys, welcome back to part 2 of this little hatchet tutorial. In part 1 we modelled our hatchet. You can see here what we modelled last time, and in part 2 what we're going to do is we're just going to tidy this up, put a material on it and then unwrap it. So here was the one we made earlier. I'm just going to shove this way out of the way, we don't need it anymore, and we're going to focus on our little blue guy here. So first thing we want to do, if you haven't done it already, make sure you save your file. I went through that whole last video, 40 minutes without saving. That was a risky maneuver. So make sure you save your file every 10 minutes. You don't want to lose any work. And now we're going to unwrap this guy. So let me see, what do we want to do? First thing I want to do, I want to hit M on my keyboard. M for Michael, M for material. And what I'm working on here is the compact mode. If we just go to modes, make sure you're in compact mode. You might bring up the slate mode instead. It looks a bit more complicated. I'm just in compact mode, and I'm just going to apply a material to all of this here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it material underscore hatchet. I'm just going to select all of these objects, and I'm going to click this little button. It's like a little circle with an arrow onto a square, and it's assigned material to selection. If I click that, we'll see that every part of the object now has that material applied. I know these all look the same, but what we could do just to differentiate it, we go down to our diffuse color here. You don't need to do this, it's just to demonstrate. Change the color, and you'll see the color is changing here on this. So yeah, we'll give this a sort of a pinky orangey color. Happy days. Material is assigned, that's great, that's everything we need. We could change the names here, hatchet handle, hatchet head, and we'll call this hatchet hatchet drawstring, maybe. Hatchet underscore drawstring. One wee thing I could do, if we want these just to stay connected, or we want to simplify our model a wee bit, I'll select this guy. I will come down to my attach, and I'm just going to attach this to it. Make that all one thing. Just check that my pivot point still stayed up here in the hole. Yes, it did. That's great. So now we've got three objects. Head, handle, and the wee drawstring bit. Normally, any of the projects we've done previously, what we've done is we've attached everything together. I don't want to do that this time. We're going to level up just ever so slightly, and we're going to keep these separate. So here's what we are going to do. We're going to select everything, and we are going to, even as they're separate objects, let me see, can I select this one? I don't like the way it's showing me my vertexes there. I must still be in vertex mode in here. Just deactivate that vertex mode. There we are. Select everything there. And we're going to go, just as we would normally do, add our Unwrap UVW map. The only thing we've done different this time is we didn't merge all these into one object. We want to keep them as separate objects. Numerous reasons for that. One being, say this was a game like God of War, and this was our main weapon, and we upgrade this weapon throughout. We can model different heads, for example, and change that. We could give it, say these were a charm on the bottom, to give it special properties, whatever. We can change the drawstring and this wee key ring here. We could even change the handle to different handles. Keep them as separate objects means we can chop and change them around if we want to do like a weapon upgrade system. My previous videos, we've unwrapped it, whatever, and compressed into one. This time we're going to keep them separate. Makes very, very little difference to the actual unwrapping process. If we go now to Open UV Editor, with all these three selected, you'll see that everything still gets put on top in one big square. Select over that, we can see everything's still there. Now if I zoom out, always worth keeping a wee eye. We notice that this wee bit wasn't selected. For some reason, don't know why, whenever I unwrapped this, it kept it a lot bigger. I don't know why. But here's what we're going to do. We've got these initial seams in here already. We don't want 3ds Max to make seams for us. We want to do a nice clean unwrap. So we're going to come here just underneath the Open UV Editor button, quick planar map, hit that, and that will do a quick planar map. Get rid of all them green seams, and now we just want to start cutting this ourselves. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to work in polygon mode. I'm going to go to my edge mode, and I am going to select all these top line here. I'm going to go all the way around the top. And I'm going to take off this entire top section here. I apologize, the color maybe doesn't make it the easiest to see, but I'm just control clicking around that entire top. And in my UV editor, I'm going to click the little break button here. In the explode section, we're going to click break, and that will give us the green seam there. We're cutting that piece off. Make sure we've got everything. Don't forget we've got these wee tiny chunks up here. Make sure and get them as well. Hit break. And what that'll do is, if I go to my polygon mode now, and also activate element mode, if I click on here, kind of hard to see. There we go. It's not a great view there, but you see it selects that entire element. We've already broke it off. What I can do now is move that over, and I can say do my quick peel, and there we are. That's that entire top shape. And I'll just rotate that round like so, just straighten up. And I want to just kind of follow that procedure all the way around. I want to go down this very front seam here. Sorry, go back. I'll deselect element mode, select my edge. If I select that the whole way around, nah, don't double click because it'll select through that island we've already selected. We'll have to just get a wee bit finicky here. Select the very middle of the edge of our axe. Break those off. And we don't need to do it all at once. We can do a couple of these, break them, and then do the other ones and break them. As long as we end up with the final result. Doesn't matter if we do them all at once or not. Select this one in the middle. Break you as well. The controls have gone funny here. There we go. Select this middle one. This middle one. And break. And okay, there's a couple of things we can do. We want to do this bottom side. Double click here, break that. Make sure we get our little tiny bit in the front here. If I just, oh, whoops, very finicky down here because it's so small. If I double click that, oh yeah, that's nice. That goes all the way around there. Select those two wee tiny bits as well. Break that, and then come to my back edge here. Double click that. We'll select that entire bottom edge. That's exactly what we want. Break. Again, that gives us this entire bottom section. So if I go to my polygon mode now, and again click my element UV, select one of these, just see where it is here. Again, it can be kind of finicky to select. Hopefully this will select what we want. Yes, there we go. Select that. This one here is my little move option. Move you, and hit peel, quick peel. It'll peel that bottom edge. We'll just move you over here, and we'll rotate you around again. And I've got these kind of upside down beside each other just to save my texture space. These will fit together better that way. And what I could do now, just to show you how peel works, I will select this entire head now. We've got this kind of shape. We've got a seam down the middle. If I just hit quick peel, look what happens. It pulls it out nicely. That whole shape, and you can see we've got the back face there and the two sides. That's one thing we could do. Now I think that might make it a bit too small on our grid. So what I'll maybe do is I'll go back to my edge mode and I will select you, maybe I'll just do one side, I'll just do one side here, select you and break that again, and you'll see then we've got a green seam in the middle. It'll just cut that into 2 islands, and what we'll do is we'll rotate this one down the way, rotate this one up the way. And another thing we can do, these are a bit off size with each other because that length there and that length there should be the same length. Sorry, my screen's very small, let me zoom in a wee bit on that there. So what we can do is we can select all of these guys and we can rescale elements, and that'll put them the right size next to each other. So if I select this, go to remove tool, that should be approximately that size. Yep, it is. Approximately that size there, plus the back. Yes, it is. Perfect. So that is the head. Let's work on the handle now. Oh, whoops. Let's work on the handle. The handle, what I want to do is, I'll deselect element mode. I don't want to select the whole thing. Go to my edge mode. I'm going to take this little top chunk off as a wee thing on its own. Double click, double click, double click all the way around. Hit break to explode. It can be a little bit hard to see this guy here. How do I want to do this? I'll maybe just control click and select everything here. It's not the best way to do it, but it can be a wee bit awkward just because I'm looking at it flat on here. There we go. Oh, just deselect you, don't need you. Make sure I haven't selected anything else here that I don't want. Nope, we're all good. And we'll just quick peel that. Now this is far too big, but we'll rescale everything at the end. We'll just drag this down out of the way here. What I also want to do now, do I want to take anything off the bottom here? No, I don't. What I want to do is around the very middle here, go out of my edge mode again, just double click here and you'll see it gives us a seam all the way around. So what I'm going to do is, I don't need this wee bit here, we've already cut the top off, so I'm just going to hold Alt and deselect these top edges. But I'm going to, so you can see there we've got a seam red starting from there all the way down, all the way around and all the way up the other side because it's a continuous shape. Once again we hit break and that'll do a wee scissor cut that seam in there. And the other wee bit that I don't want to forget about is this little bit in here. I want to double select that, hit break, scroll around the other side, double select that and hit break. There we are. And also we don't want to forget about this little guy in the middle. This needs unwrapped as well, but that's really easy. That's just a little tube. If we just take that little tube and break one little piece of it, just break that, we can unfold that like a piece of paper. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll go back here and I'll select that, and you'll see that I'll select one entire side of it. If I just go quick peel, look at that, that's quite nice there already. The only place it's giving us any bother is we're maybe getting a wee bit of a squeeze down the bottom, it's squishing it in a wee bit. So what I can do to fix that, down here where we're not really going to see it, I'm going to again go back to my edge mode, and I'm just going to take this little bit here, maybe too wide, and I'll do the same on the other side while I'm doing it. And if I hit break, and I'll do the same down at the bottom, just 1, 2, 3, whoops. Just make sure you don't accidentally select one of the other objects as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Break those. And I'll show you what's going to happen here. You'll see these little lines have appeared. If we go back, select the whole thing. Now again, I'm just like that. I can select an individual with element mode, activate it. Lets me select the whole thing in one click is why we do that. But if I hit quick peel again, watch what happens at the bottom corners here. It just sort of cuts them and snips them a wee bit and relaxes those, relaxes these edges a wee bit. They'll be more accurate. They'll not distort as much. So do the same thing on this other side. Here it is here. And we just want to do a quick peel and the same thing. If I peel it off to the side here, we should have these two looking more or less the same, just mirror images of each other. Perfect. Couldn't ask for better. And that's the handle done. We've got the bottom of the handle here. And again, that's massive, but if we select all three, rescale elements, whoops, it's made these two bigger rather than that one smaller. But that's okay, we can work with that. That just leaves us with the drawstring and all. So the drawstring is actually really, really easy to do. All we're going to do, we're going to go to this inside part. Now, this is such a small wee shape, we're never going to really see it anyway. But good practice with unwrapping anything is we want to put our seams where they're least likely to be seen. So the seam is least likely to be seen on the inner edge of stuff. So we're going to take just this wee inside here, double click on it, and it will go all the way around. All the way around. And we'll just hit break, and that'll do a wee scissor seam there. And what we're going to do is we'll just take this one up in here, double click that, do a wee loop, and we'll break that as well. And now what happens is if I again go to my polygon, we'll just select everything there and do a quick peel. Look at that, it straightens out perfectly flat for us. It's a wee bit sort of bendy, but again, it's such a small shape, we're not going to worry about it. Pull that off. We'll do the exact same thing to this little bead down here. We'll take this inside edge, go to my edge mode, deactivate element mode, little ring all the way around the inside, break that, just choose any random one of these rings, break that, and go back to polygon and element mode, select it, quick peel, and we'll see it's flattening out like so. Because of the torus shape, it's not going to be a straight rectangle, but that's totally fine. Don't worry about that. Again, the scale is very off because quick peel always breaks it up to the maximum size of our texture grid here. But again, don't worry about that. Last bit we have left here is what's happening in here, and that is just that little hole in the middle. And again, we've cut it off and we've added a little seam there earlier. Just cut one ring there, kind of like a tube, toilet roll tube, just cutting a line along it. Quick peel. Perfect, look at that. And again, that's made massive compared to the size it should be. But we've cut every piece there. We've got them looking lovely. We can make some lovely textures from this. All we want to do is select everything. We're going to hit this little rescale elements button to make sure everything is the right size compared to itself. Now, I don't think that's quite right actually. I think the head, let me see, rescale again. The head's coming out very small compared to the handle here. So I might just go manually make those a bit bigger. What we'll do is we will select everything here, click the little button above it, pack custom, and you'll see what happens. It'll pack everything onto our thing for us. I'm just going to click this button here, deactivate the checker box, just to get a bit of a better look. So that's a good wee toggle switch to know about. We've got a lot of empty texture space here, and well, actually, once we've repacked it, I think it's actually made these a better, closer size. But what I want to do is I want to make that axe head a little bit bigger. I want to give it more room in the texture. So I'm going to select these 4 bits, just move them here. We can't really go much bigger on the handle itself. It's kind of going from top to bottom as much as we can get. Actually, we could get it just the tiniest bit bigger. This is me, again, being a bit of a puke here. But that extra 5% texture space can just make those textures a little bit higher definition. Just going to move this. When you repack yours, it'll come out a different shape to mine. Might not look exactly the same, so don't worry about it. But think less of exactly what I'm doing and think more of the principles of what I'm doing when you do your own. And just try and squish in these guys, get as much space as you can. So pull you down to you're near the bottom there. Pull these two out of the way for a second. And we'll just make both of you guys just a little bigger. If we go to the top corner here, we can scale it. That little triangle icon is a scale. Now if we just hold it, it'll squish out of shape. But if we hold control, we can just make that the tiniest wee bit bigger. So we're only getting about 5% bigger. It's not much. It's barely worth bothering with at all, but it's better than nothing. And what we'll do is, there's that wee bit on the inside there. We'll shift it in there where there's a bit of empty space. That's the top of our thing. We'll actually just make it a little bit bigger as well, because to keep it in scale with the rest. I'll just rotate it around. It fits here in this wee gap. Any wee gaps, see how you can use them effectively. And again, don't let anything ever touch or overlap. Everything always has to be a wee separate island on its own. This guy can come in here. Do you know what? What we can actually do with this wee bit of string, again, you're never ever going to see it, but if you wanted it to have just a little bit more detail, what you could do is, we'll just cut it in half. We'll go in about the middle here. It might not be perfect, but in about the middle. There we go. Break it again, and that turns it into two islands instead of one. So here we can take that, move it up a side, and just make that a bit bigger as well. Hold control. Really don't need to do that. Or maybe that's for a tiny wee object we're never going to see. That's a lot more detail than it needs. But you never know. If we have the spare space, we might as well use it. I'll make it a wee bit smaller. Now fit these axe heads in here. Let's see what we can do with these. Can we make them a wee bit bigger? Where can we get you in? And get the other guys in alongside it. This wee thing here, we can move you in here. Again, just rotate you around. We'll move these two off out the side for a wee minute. Let me see. And we're just trying to sort of play with this. Maybe actually if we rotate these 90, rotate you 90, and there we go. If we expand this up now, there we're getting a lot better use of that texture space. That's about better. Just avoid any overlaps or going outside the edge. So we'll just grab this, pull it back in here, pull you in here, pull you down a bit. And now what we'll do is just take these two, rotate them 90 degrees, and we'd already made them a bit bigger, so we'll make them a bit smaller again. Fit them in there. Perfect. Look at that. That is a beautiful unwrap, if I do say so myself. That there, we're coming tight to the edge, but it's okay. Lovely. I could not do better. That is a lovely unwrap. Okay. Let me see, we can close that now. I am very proud of this. I think that's a gorgeous little model. Okay, we'll right click, we'll just go to top level and everything. We will select over here. Is there anything else I need to do? Smoothing groups are all good. We've added material. We've named everything. We've done all the wee usual bits. We're on our origin point. That is lovely. We'll just go file and save at this point. And then the last thing I want to do is file, export, export selected, and we want to choose where we're going to save it. And we'll just call this prop _ hatchet. Yeah, that's grand. Prop_hatchet, and it's an FBX file. Hit save. Don't need to touch anything here. Just hit OK. Following objects are selected. Iteration values. This is to do with the turbosmooth. Don't worry about it. This little warning comes up, but it's grand. Just hit OK. And that's us. We are now ready to go into Substance Painter. So again, thank you for watching. We had a slight different unwrap procedure there than we've had in previous models. Previous models we used the straighten button, the straighten technique. This one uses peel instead. Reason why we use peel works better on these kind of curvy shapes. Peel is designed for organic shapes, kind of like animals and monsters and things, and it's taken from actually peeling the skin off an animal, skinning an animal. That's what we're doing with these curvy shapes. Peel works better for these kind of curvy shapes than just the usual straighten technique we've used in other videos. If you look back on the other projects I've done on my timeline, you'll see the other UV technique. This one, use peel. Peel works better. Okay, so let's leave it there, and I will see you for part 3 where we finish this off in Substance Painter. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll see you for the next video.